close attention to what happens when the police arrive.
What are you gonna do? You know I can have my come outside, come outside.
Oh, yo! No, bro. Chill. Brian, get out. Brian, leave. Holy.
What the?
Oh no.
Oh no, your eyes are not deceiving you. You just witnessed two uniformed police officers breaking up the fight by pulling the kid who was on top up, gently seating him, and then tackling and pinning the black teenager, a knee in his back, face on the ground, and handcuffing him. The other kid, the one who was not black, was brushed aside and basically free to go about his business. That teen told a WPIX reporter that he did not understand why he had not been cuffed and said that he even offered to allow them to cuff him too. The Bridgewater Township Police Department is now under fire for that incident, as you can imagine, which went viral on social media yesterday. In a statement, they said, "We recognize that this video has made members of our community upset and are calling for an internal affairs investigation." You think? New Jersey Governor Phil Murphy told reporters that he had seen the video and was deeply disturbed by what appears to be racially disparate treatment in this video. Joining me now is Zakai Hussein, the young man who was tackled by the police, and his father, Jihad Hussein, and their lawyer, Ben Crump. Thank you both for being here. And Zakai, first of all, I'm pronouncing your name correctly. It's Zakai, right?
Yes.
I'm going to make sure. Okay, good. So, Zakai, tell me first, how did the incident between you and the other boy start?
So my friend was arguing with a high schooler, and I say something about it because he was bullying him because he was smaller. He's bigger than him. He was smaller. He's shorter and stuff like that. He's younger. So I don't like the fact that he's bullying him. I don't like bullies. I say something about it, and then he starts doing the same thing to me. So he puts his hands in my face. I slap it away after asking him to get his hands out of my face. And then he pushes me. I start throwing punches. And then we end up on the ground, and the male officer pushes me in my back while the female officer pulls him away and then comes and helps handcuff me and put her knee in my back too.
Were you detained? Were you arrested?
Yeah.
How long were you detained?
For like 20, 30 minutes.
For 20 or 30 minutes. To your knowledge, I know you were more focused on what was happening to you, do you know if the other boy was detained?
He wasn't.
He was not. Okay. I want to now ask your dad a question. Were you called? Did the police allow your son to call you to tell you what was going on?
Well, they allowed him to call my wife, and they had explained a portion of the story and had her come down to the mall so that he could be picked up. So we were aware.
Were you aware that the other teenager was not detained?
No, it wasn't until after Zakai was picked up that we were able to find out through video and conversation that the other child was not detained.
And do you mind if I ask, how old are you? How old are you, Zakai?
14.
You're 14. And do you know how old the other teenager is?
16.
So he's older than you. He was on top of you. Okay, so he's older than you. He was picking on another kid. You confronted him, and then you get into the altercation. He's on top of you. The police pull him off of you, and you were detained for 30 minutes. Is that accurate?
Yes.
Ben, I think everybody black knows that this is unfortunately the way that we are policed in general, unfortunately, or the way we unfortunately have come to presume we're going to be policed. But this sounds so blatantly discriminatory. I cannot understand how possibly this police department can try to explain it. Can you think of any reason why the older teen was not detained?
Joe, I cannot. It's the reason why the video, I believe, has went viral. People are outraged, especially parents of children of color, because they understand it's things like this profiling and stereotyping of our children that leads to a Trayvon Martin. It leads to Ahmaud Arbery. And you just scratch your head, Joe, and you say, why was it that the black kid was presumed guilty and the white kid was presumed innocent? The black kid was put face down with a knee in his back, while the white kid was coddled and allowed to sit on the chair and watch them humiliate the black kid. And the black kid, why was he put in handcuffs and detained, I believe, unreasonably for almost 30 minutes? And the white kid literally, Joy Rady, he would put his hands up to be handcuffed, and the white policewoman patted him on the shoulder and told him, no, you're free to go.
Wow. Zakai, when the police had you detained, what did they ask you, or what did they tell you? Did they tell you why you were being detained?
They said it was basic protocol.
And did they explain to you why the other kid was not?
No.
And what did they did they interrogate you? Did you feel that they were accusing you of a crime?
Kind of, yes.
And I guess the other question I have to ask you, and this is harder to ask because you are a child younger than my children, were you, when you were on the floor and the police were on top of you, at any time did you fear for your safety at the hands of those officers?
Yes. I was like scared. Didn't know what would happen next and if they were gonna take it any farther.
And is that because of other incidents that you've seen happen to other young black men?
Yes.
How do you feel about police in general, or how did you feel about them before this happened?
I don't really know. I didn't really have like a opinion about them because I see stuff online, but I know not all of them are like that. So I don't, and I haven't seen anything in real life to have an opinion about them. But then now I feel like they treat certain people differently. Some might treat certain people differently.
Mm-hmm. And when you went home to talk to your parents about it, what did they tell you? What did your dad tell you?
He told me that well, I think it wasn't really much of a conversation. They had like a conversation with me that I might get treated differently because of my skin color and stuff. But I think my mom went back to say something to us, but they weren't.
And Dad, let me ask you a question. What do you want to see happen here?
I feel like this is ridiculous that my son was treated in this manner and that the other child involved had no penalty. I think it's very unjust. And, you know, I'm a veteran. I served in the military and I've experienced training and I know what training is. And if this is what they consider to be a trained officer, I want to see justice and I want to see either retraining or for them to lose their badge.
Ben, what happens next? Is this family planning to sue this police department?
I think we have to hold them accountable, Joy, because if we don't, what happens next? Can you imagine if they knew there were children in the mall videotaping and they still racially discriminated against Zakai? What happened if they were on a dark street? I mean, that's why we have to hold them accountable, Joy. And we are asking for internal investigation, but we also want the state to investigate. And if not, we're prepared to do what we have to do to make sure there's accountability.
Yeah, indeed. Zakai Hussein, I am so sorry that this happened to you. It's not something that a 14-year-old should have to experience or that anyone should have to experience in their own country. So I am sorry that this happened to you, young man. And thank you for coming on. Thank you, Jihad Hussein. Really appreciate you allowing us to talk to your son. And my friend, Ben Crump, always appreciate you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.